Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Duels of the Spellslingers Tournament number 5. Before we begin today, I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to our organizers. We got antlr and antlr. A big shout out to our video editors. We have antlr and now Ezra. Thank you, Ezra, for stepping up from the community. We really appreciate your help. And also big shout out to our commentators. We're going to get some familiar faces. I guess really in this case familiar voices, but we're going to get Red Rose, Dusty, and myself, Obus form. Cool body facts of the day. In the human embryo, did you guys know the first cells to develop were actually it appears it's for the anus, which means at some point in life everyone was just an a-hole. I've never evolved past that. But speaking of evolution, and due to evolutionary reasons, male ejaculate seems to travel, or rather can travel, up to 28 miles per hour, which is what, like 45 kilometers per hour? Unrelated, I'm actually not allowed within 100 meters of schools or playgrounds, mostly due to my deep sense of shame and worry looking over my shoulder for cops, but also due to my speeding habits. Anyways, video games.
Round 1. Fight!
Alright, so video game number 1, we have Nemesis on the Afro Assassin wearing the number 2 headband, Kaya, with the aggressive Hellmouth Cave land at turn 3 or later. It has a 30% chance to give all creatures on board and cast +1/+0. And versus Jeremy on Ashiok, the guy without a face, who I pretty much am sure could dodge axes and daggers thrown in his face, but for some reason physics don't allow. Anyways, turn 1, Jeremy casts Extract Fear, gets the Ghost Blades. It's an artifact that basically steals one attack from an enemy creature and gives it to your creature. Jeremy has the Refreshment Stand, and he got, I believe it's Niv Mizzet. Let's see if, well, we can't see Kaya's cards yet, but maybe we'll see that later. So the meta of this game, so it looks like Kaya got, I think it's Martial Aerialist, yeah. Kaya casts, okay, users her mana gem, very aggressive start. Casts 2 Silent Prowlers. So basically this is a Kaya, a very optimized fast deck to get lots of hasty, well sorry, pardon me, no hasty, but lots of sneaky creatures with the Hellmouth Cave to give more damage done by sneak. There we go. Because the Silent Prowlers are not blocked, they will still maintain their sneak. And because Kaya did 3 damage or more, she gets her quest fulfilled and gets the Stalwart Spirit, but Stalwart Spirit doesn't stun anything. So Jeremy on turn 2 already has no creatures to block and can't use Kaya's Ghost Blades artifact because it needs to have a creature so that he can put the +1 damage that he stole from enemy creatures onto his. So Nemesis Kaya on turn 3 is going to go in for 4 damage, and again, those 2 Silent Prowlers, they get to maintain their sneak. Alright, decides to cast Stoneforge Mystic and takes no time to decide. So I'm guessing it's either going to be a +1/+1 flying, +1/+1 sneak, or the +4/+1, because we still have those Prowlers that have sneak. So it's going to be lots of damage. So turn 4 on Ashiok. Ashiok, known for causing nightmares, basically is going to win through emotional damage. But Jeremy on Ashiok is going to go for the long game versus Kai is going to go for the short game. So Jeremy, hopefully on Ashiok, has a Infest, which would absolutely devastate Kaya's board. I think that's the only saving grace. Yeah, or has to put up blockers and hopefully get a Drain Blood for Your Marriage. No, too bad. Gets Flagrant Foul. But Flagrant Foul is 4 mana, and that's too expensive. I think Jeremy is really hoping that Kaya has those 2-cost Drain Blood. But anyways, Kaya gets her Hellmouth Cave to proc on her turn 4, gives everyone +1/+0 attack. So even if Jeremy blocks this turn, 3 damage is going to go through. Probably kill the 3/3, and it's going to be the 2/1, which finally used her sneak, plus the 3 damage. So it's going to be 5 damage, which is perfect for Kaya's quest. So far every turn, Kaya has successfully completed her quest, and that's why Kaya has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand, one of which we know is the Mystic Weapon, or the Stoneforged Mystic Weapon, which we'll see what that does. It decides to cast the Martial Aerialist, which is now a 3/4 thanks to the Proctor land. Martial Aerialist comes in with a ward and flying, so that's going to be hard to deal with on Jeremy's side. Jeremy casts the Shadow Stag, reduces, there we go, we can see all cards that were not originally in his deck are cheaper by 1 cost, but I don't think that's enough because we know, Jeremy doesn't know, but we know Nemesis hand on Kaya, he's got Flagrant Foul. So Flagrant Foul is going to just destroy the 4/5 Shadow Stag, and it's going to be, well, thanks to the Ghost Blades, it's going to be 2 + 3 + 2, so it's going to be 7 damage. Nightmare procs, okay, it gives +1 life to Jeremy, but it's going to be 7 damage if Kaya decides to Flagrant Foul. It looks like, yeah. So she Flagrant Fouls, 7 damage coming in straight through. It's going to give her her quest again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 cards in Kaya's hand. Kaya's going to self-mill if she procs her quest one more time, because she's been successful in doing it every turn so far. Jeremy's down to 9 HP on turn 6. I think the play is you either Agony Warp and then -3 damage, and then you do the -3 life to kill a creature, or you do Master of Possibilities. Mop is not a mop without a pen, and pen the mop, mop the pen. You Master Possibilities to hopefully get like a Lava Wave, Day of Judgment, or Infest, but nope, he decides to Flagrant Foul because it's 3 cost, and maybe, yeah, Agony Twist, kill, yeah, the 2/1 or something. There we go, that's not too bad. Okay, so but I think Stalwart Spirit on Kaya's hand is gonna stun the 1/3. Yeah, stun the 1/3, and then maybe Virtus the Veil, that'd be 6. So on 5 cost, maybe Stalwart and use the Mystic Weapon, or could do the Stalwart and cast a Courtly Killer. Either way, there's lots of possibilities at 5 mana. Okay, he's casting something. Kaya is going to cast... Alright, oh, there we go. 4/1 on the Sneaky Sneak. And you still have 4 mana left over. Is it going to be a Flagrant Foul? Because then the 4 is going to keep the Sneak. The 4/2 is going to keep the Sneak. Nope, decides to go for Stalwart Spirit and has 2 mana left over. Yeah, could cast the Somber Spirit, which has Sneak... attacks first. Sorry, Somber Spirit has the Finale, where when it dies, it drains 2 damage. Or rather, it drains 2 HP from the opponent. So Jeremy down to 3 life. Yeah, I think really it's you go for broke. Master Possibilities, pray for any of the board clears, Infest, Lava Wave, Day of Judgment, something to sort of save the board. But even after doing that, you're still going to kill that 2/1 Somber Spirit, and you're going to be down to 1 HP. So, and 1 HP can be easily dealt with by Kaya's Cut Down, which is her signature card. So he gets a shock, alright, but that's not the answer he was looking for. Also, Kaya has a Silent Strike and a Flagrant Foul in hand, so I think this is pretty much game. Yeah, no matter how you want to style it, it's going to be the end of the game. Use a Silent Strike, there we go. There's no point in blocking, attacks with everything, or rather attacks with the 2/1, the 4/1, but not the other 2/1, doesn't matter what happens. Good game. All things must end, said Ashiok in her manly voice. Kaya shoots all the purple stuff over Ashiok's face, does not miss, even though he's got a hole. And just like that, Nemesis wins video game number 1. And good job, Nemesis.
Round 2. Fight!
Alright, round 2, or rather video game number 2, fight. Okay, so we have the same Kaya fast deck versus the Ral. So Ral is sort of a mid-game when he gets to like 5 or 6 or 7 mana. He can sort of start popping off a combo of spells, and Ral is known for those little shocks, the Chain Lightning, which can do up to 10 damage, and I think that's the game here. So the meta is, again, the same Kaya, the 1 or 2 HP creatures, versus Ral trying to draw those shocks, the Chain Lightnings, and those little spells to just maintain the board. So let's see how Ral can pull some magic out of the Ral hat. Turn 1, Ral gets the Bone Club Shambler, but passes. Turn 1 Nemesis plays the Silent Prowler with Sneak, and I believe gets the Scathing Glare, but yeah, it doesn't use it. And alright, so turn 2, Jeremy casts the 2/1 guy that gives him a Collaborate. Collaborate gives the 1 mana gem to everyone, but I don't think he's going to use it. Turn 2, Kaya, yeah, use Cut Down, very well done. And uses Kaya's Enforcer, alright, blows the mana gem. That way the 2/1 Prowler goes in for the attack, 2 damage, but gets to keep her Sneak ability. Jeremy goes for turn 3. Yeah, Chain Lightning can do up to 10 damage, and it will do +1 damage for every spell you've cast. But so far, Ral has cast no spells, unfortunately, so Chain Lightning will do 0 damage. And I think at turn 3, you either Isochron Scepter and hope for like a shock to kill the 2/1 Prowler, or you could do, yeah, Bone Club Shambler and sort of just pray that Nemesis on Kaya doesn't have like a Drain Blood to kill that 4/2. But even if Kaya doesn't, yeah, goes in for the attack and will actually still successfully do her quest for 3 damage because he's going to do 4 damage. And we're going to have to see what Kaya decides to play with that 3 mana. Could be Blood Queen Drana. So Kaya, for her troubles, she gets a Sly Spirit. It's a 2/1 that gets Sneak. And yeah, I think it's okay. So there we go. Blood Queen Drana, 2/3, where every time Blood Queen Drana successfully does damage, it steals that much and adds that to her HP. So if she... Nope, so never mind. She's not going to live. Jeremy casts Flame Coil -4, so it's dead. Okay, turn 4. There we go. So Kaya's creatures are now all +1 damage, and I think this is the time to cast, yeah, maybe a Courtly Killer, maybe this Dark Confidant, that 2 mana Dark Confidant, or even the 2 mana Sly Spirit. But there we go. So yeah, I think it's going to be Courtly Killer coming up, becoming a 4/3 Sneak. Alright, and yeah, Nemesis going in for the attack. The 4/2 blocks the 3/1. The 3/1 is still there, and it still has armor. And again, we are, yeah, so Kaya doesn't get to finish her quest, but it looks like next turn she will be able to do that. So very well done. 24-16. Not sure. Okay, there we go. Kaya passed. Turn 5, Jeremy. Hopefully he can maybe do an Isochron Scepter, start getting some spells to chain with the Chain Lightning. I mean, it's got Chain Lightning in its name. Yeah, so Chain Lightning, there we go. See, we can see Jeremy mousing over. Chain Lightning says 2 damage, which is not enough. We need to at least like 6, right? 6 or 7 damage, so it starts killing off that like 4/3 Courtly Killer. Plays the Mirror Mage, uses the Mirror Artifact, and gets a Flagrant Foul. See, I think Ral was hoping, just like on the Ashiok deck, was hoping that Kaya has the 2 mana Drain Blood spell that does 2 damage. But Flagrant Foul is not a bad choice, but it's not the choice here because 2 damage won't be able to kill those 1 or 2 HP creatures. So Nemesis casts Cut. Okay, very well done. So Nemesis casts Cut, does the 4 damage, gets the Cut down back, and can probably use it to kill that 2/1. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. So 2 mana left over, maybe a Dark Confidant time, which is, or Sly Spirit. But either way, I think it's going to be either Dark Confidant, yeah, or Sly Spirit. There we go. So Dark Confidant, whenever it attacks, it does 2 damage to yourself, but helps you draw a card. And that's one of the only card drawing engines that Kaya has for her deck. Alright, so turn 6, Jeremy uses the Mage Mirror Artifact again, gets another Flagrant Foul. Not what he wanted, but at 6 mana, maybe you either go for Isochron and hope for like a shock, or you go Alhammered, which is going to block, that rhymes. Isochron, hope for a shock, or Hammered and hope to block. The Courtly Killer. Either of those answers I think is a good choice, or he could just Flagrant Foul. Okay, goes for the Mizia Monstrosity. And okay, what do you get? So anticipate that you're not going to use your card draw to draw. Maybe it's Unsummon time. And maybe you want to Chain Lightning as well, but Chain Lightning is so expensive, and that's a next turn play. Perhaps now you want to do the Unsummon. That way you can cast another. Yeah, see, that way you can at least cast your Unsummon now. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to have done anything. Yeah, so maybe Unsummon the 3/2. I don't think it's Unsummoning of the 3/1 or the 4/3 simply because those would come back with sneak, and that's another problem altogether. So Mizzy Monstrosity becomes a 6/6, but we know Kaya has the Stalwart Spirit, so we can stun it. Hellmouth Cave procs again, 4/1, and a 5/3. That's becoming a lot of big creatures. And yeah, if you Stalwart Spirit, there we go. So 6/6 stunned. It's going to be 9 damage, bringing Jeremy down to 3. And Kaya could even cut down. Nope, decides to go for Sly Spirit. Okay, not a bad choice. Decide to go for Sly Spirit. Boom. Sword to the face. And purple sword to the face. Kaya gets her other procs her passive Stalwart Spirit, so it's another stun card. So blocking won't work again for the next turn. I think it's time Jeremy has to Isochron Scepter, play whatever spell, and Chaos Lightning, and just sort of pray that Chaos Lightning can just kind of clear the board. Because blocking won't work. Alright, decides to do that, and Chaos Lightning, there we go. Does it get everything 6 damage? Yes! Yes, it does. Okay, so now you can finally breathe. So Jeremy has an 8/8 Museum Monstrosity, but we know Nemesis has lots of sneak and has cut down, so it can still continually cut down. It'll be up to Jeremy to draw the Isochron Scepters, Flagrant Fouls, or the board clears to just stay alive. But it looks like Nemesis is gonna maybe have 3 mana left over. Yeah, Courtly Killer time. And I think it's game over though, because there's a Silent Strike. And there's already a 3/3. So we really have to clear everything on the board. Maybe Fling? I think Fling is the answer. I don't know what to say because, you know, Fling, okay, gets... So Millstone is a win later, that's not it. Scoreboard, I don't think you want to give Kaya more cards because it's going to be like another Flagrant Foul, more cut downs. I think it's just Panharmonicon, but none of these artifacts can really help you. I think the answer he was looking for was maybe like a Icy Manipulator to stun the 3/3, and then he could Flagrant Foul the other guy, or whatever. He gets the Panharmonicon. Okay, Flagrant Foul. But we know that Kaya, in her hand, has the Silent Strike. So I think that's game. Silent Strike is going to make that 2/1 a 4/1. Nope, it's going to make it a 5/1 thanks to the Hellmouth Cave proc. But I don't think Jeremy has any answers. So, in any case, very well done, Nemesis. The only damage you really took was from Rao's passive proccing. Otherwise, you pretty much controlled the game from start to finish. Very well done. Jeremy, very good try in this tournament number 5. We'll see you in the next one. And Nemesis, very well done. We'll see you in the next round, the next video game. If you guys liked what you heard or saw today, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you'd like to join, or if you want us to cast your games. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.